You know, I mentioned that adage that people said, it's 4 years of I don't know, followed by 4 years of I don't care. The folks I work with that are term limited, there's 10 of us. I just don't see that. I mean, these are people that are committed to making government work, and they stay committed. So I think everybody's going to stay engaged and be fully involved in the process. I also think they realize that creating this process of long-range planning and how to transcend term limits is important. And that could be the greatest work those of us leaving this year can leave the state with.
It seems like there's two categories. One, people people who are just leaving state government altogether, people who are thinking of running for other things. First of all, which category do you fall in, and is that going to affect how you act as Senate President Pro Tem?
I'm probably in the category of leaving state government. So, that my decisions, as in my last year as President Pro Tem, are really built around leaving something with a lasting impact on state government that exists after I'm gone, and that lasting impact would be the ability to think past 1 year, even at the most 2 years like we're in right now, to start thinking 3, 5, and 10 years. That's really, if I accomplish one thing in this legislative session, that would be the way I want to leave state government.
Exactly.
There's no decision. We'll do the right thing as we always do in the House, and we'll work bipartisan when we can, and when we can't, we'll still do what we think is the best interest of Missouri on budget priorities, fiscal discipline, tax issues. But we're open to a lot of solutions, and Representative LeVoda and I have an open dialogue, and we talk from time to time. We started this morning with a breakfast with leadership of both sides of the aisle, and we had conversations, and we hope to move together on a lot of issues.
So your predecessor really lost a lot of interest midway through his last year. Do you plan on avoiding that, and if so, how?
I will do what is in my gut to do the right thing, and if it's not right in my heart and my gut, I will not pursue it.
Senator Schultz is proposing a ban on contributions from lobbyists during the session. Is that something that you would support?
I will support whatever comes out of our bipartisan committee, whatever comes out.
Well, I guess I'll start with my optimistic answer. As many people are term limited out, it's a real opportunity to define our legacy here and to do the things that are beyond partisan bickering and do the right thing and move Missouri forward. My hope is that everyone rises to that level. It is interesting that you have the majority caucus who has been lockstep behind Speaker Richard and Speaker Jetten for all these years, vote exactly in line as the party goes. Well, that'll be interesting when you have two of those guys running against each other for Senate. Will that break down? I hope it does. To my chagrin sometimes, members of the Democratic Party in this House are very independent, and they vote their district, and I would like to see some of the Republicans do more of that, and maybe their competition will help them do that.
Sent me here for 8 years. They sent the first 4 and this last 4. And I think it would be disingenuous to change whatever I'm doing, because this is my last year of being in the legislature, and I will be fighting for those things that are of importance to my constituents to the day I leave this body.
Do you have anything?
Well said.
Let me just say, I have no doubt about Senator Days, but I would just say it is impossible for Senator Bray not to be engaged. She's on appropriations, so
That's true.
she's already spoken for.
My question is, how do you think term limits is going to just affect everything, not only here, but also in the House? You saw in 2008, a term limited speaker who didn't care anymore basically caused a lot of disruptions. Do you think that could happen again this year?
It's always been part of the Senate, even before term limits, if you think about it, in that, somebody kind of voluntarily decided it was their last term. The Senate survived, and that's there used to be people in the past, even before term limits, that would sort of go off the reservation and say I don't care, or maybe they lost an election, or maybe there's a phase in time. It's not unique. We'll survive. I think ultimately people's motives, hopefully in government, and why they're doing and what they're doing ultimately become apparent. And if somebody's just doing that because it's their last term or their last week in the Senate, that kind of becomes obvious to all their colleagues.